You're listening to The Angry Designer, where we cut through the industry bull to help frustrated graphic designers survive and thrive.
Okay, buddy.
Cheers. Cheers,
Boys,
cheers,
this is
cheers.
a cheers, eh?
Ooh, I need this tonight.
Tell me about it, right?
Every
I know, I don't want to keep starting off every podcast the same. Maybe we should move it to like a Monday. I'd suggest Friday, but if we did the podcast late Fridays, wouldn't end up pretty good.
No, it would be a lot of sloshing and slurring. And
Yeah, right. Ay. So, buddy, how are you
not
doing?
too bad. How you doing, man?
Oh.
How you doing?
Wow, I didn't think tonight would come. Like, with the day that I've had. Like,
right?
seriously, I stood at my desk the whole day and just, damn.
And this was like a hardcore work day for you too, wasn't it?
I had Wednesdays generally have no meetings.
Yes.
And again, apparently I have no meetings, no lunches. Bathroom breaks are minimal. I spend running back and forth. This is one of those days where it was just, I don't think I left my office once. Jeez, dude, that's
Yeah, we had to check to see if you were here.
I know.
It's
Just, and you know the funny thing is, I was so busy, I didn't even go turn on damn music.
Oh.
It was like a library in here all day, which is so weird. It's so eerie. And again, it's just because I'm like, okay, I gotta turn on music. I gotta go put on a playlist. This, that. Nothing.
Were you listening to music? I
No,
didn't even hear music.
dude, I was too
Oh
busy to
my
even. I know. That's why it was
That's
so
bad.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was just weird. But you know, you almost get too in the zone, and then it's just that was an uncomfortable cool. You know,
I was gonna say, in days like that, normally there's drum and bass pumping out of your
right.
out of your
and
office.
I kept on thinking, okay, I gotta put on some drum and bass. I gotta get shit done today. I was so busy I couldn't even get that playlist. I think I tried streaming like an 80s thing to the front, so at least
I
we
did
had
hear that.
It came,
Yes.
but then somebody turned it off and it never came back. And I honestly didn't have the time to go check. Woo, needless to say, it's pretty brutal. So cool.
Yeah.
So had some awesome reviews.
Oh.
This week again, we had that was we had a great episode last week.
Yes.
Everybody's feeling. I don't know if anybody who's listening to you for the first time. If you are, welcome to our humble show. Where right now for reviews, we actually have a contest going on. Just to remind everybody, every month for February, March, and April, we're giving away a set of Apple AirPods.
Nice.
Okay, and all you got to do for this is get on Spotify or get on Apple, leave us a review. It could be a nice review, it could be a shitty review. I don't really care. You can be honest. Hopefully, it's a nice one because we're really nice guys.
Yeah, come on. We're Canadian.
We're Canadian, right? Yeah. Please be nice to us, please.
We're sorry if we're not.
And leave us a review. Jump onto Instagram and drop us a note that you did, so we can actually put you in the contest. And that is it. This week we're pulling our first winner this week, so it's going to be exciting. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to put it at the beginning of an episode or after. I don't know, but it'll probably be on next week. So that's kind of cool, right?
Maybe. What about on Instagram or something?
Actually, that is a great idea.
it?
You're
Oh,
fucking
okay.
brilliant, Sean. You're so smart.
It'd be really cool to kind of look at it and to hear your name saying,
But I have to reach out to somebody and have to be like, are you okay if we actually do this? Yeah, I'll do that first. But no, absolutely. That's a great idea. Kind of feels like we're making this up as we go along, doesn't it?
No. We have a plan.
The reality is we're helping people. We love helping people.
Yes.
We're literally just saying what we go through on a weekly basis. And apparently a lot of graphic designers go through the exact same thing, and that's what we're here for.
It's very comomforting to know, right?
It is,
like
right?
some days you think you're alone and you're in this big silo, and
you're thinking it's just me.
why is this happening to me? But no, rest assured, there's all this stuff is happening to everybody else out there.
Absolutely. And it's cool. So I mean, by all means, getting more reviews allows us to get to a broader audience, a bigger audience across the world. I mean, we've already got people from Australia. In fact, tonight's topic is going to be based on somebody from Australia who reached out.
Really?
Yeah. And so that's where I was just like, dude, that's a great topic. We're going to cover that one for sure. But I mean, again, we get inspired from our listeners, our angry designers. And again, it's just, we're not the only ones who are angry. We just might be the ones that are, spewing it out there for the whole world to laugh at on. So here to this, Sean.
Salud.
Cheers to this one.
Cheers.
All right.
That's great. That's really, really, really cool. I didn't realize that we had that such far reach.
I know, it's just
insane.
cool, right?
That's
It
just
is just
blows
really
my
cool.
mind.
Yeah.
So what was this gentleman? Is a gentleman, I assume?
No, it was a dude. Yes,
it was a dude.
So the dude.
What was his top? What was his suggestions?
Well, and again, it wasn't so much his suggestions, but I mean, he was having a problem, and this is a problem that we all face. God knows how much we face. And dude, he said it and my heart just dropped in my stomach. I'm like, dude, if I could only share some stories. But, you know, unfortunately, you know, what we're here to talk about today is the horrible creative brief.
Oh,
dude, like it's supposed to be something that helps us.
Yes.
And more times than not, depending on who's giving it, it's just a mess. Like, honestly, it's like it's supposed to give you some sort of guidance and a little bit of insights, but often, I mean, the thing is just nothing more than just a whole bunch of data spewed on a page that makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Digital barf.
Right? Yes. Like literally, right? There's no depth about the story, the brand explanation. It's like, you know, this, like it couldn't be more robotic.
Yes.
And, you know, and in researching this, is because I guess a lot of people just copy paste. They're often given, and this is true.
Yeah.
They're often given to like low level.
The junior guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, and that explains why a lot of times it's just like, it doesn't make sense, but it's just, they're overdoing all the information. And it's just, dude, it's like, I can't work with this.
This is exactly it, because your high up boss said, all right, Jenkins, do this. Get this done for me. And you're like, well, what are you going to do? You're not going to send him a single focused.
Right. I know, right?
You know,
heaven forbid.
Yeah, you're going to jam everything you know into that fucking thing.
You know why? It's because it's like the only purpose they serve is for people to cover their ass. Oh, and this is why
the butt cover.
Seriously, and this is why, you know, they throw everything in. Like, I can tell you, honestly, I've had, oh my God, dude, we've had like 10, 12 page creative briefs on, you know, a website, on a logo, they tell us everything from how the company was founded to the people in the company, to the past founders, to the mission, the products. Dude, I'm like, dude, I don't really care. I don't need to know this stuff. Like, you know, maybe if this was, maybe if I was a junior designer and I had to start learning this stuff. But I mean, okay, as experienced designers, as good graphic designers, I would say everybody who listens to us is a good graphic designer, of course.
That's exactly it.
But, you know, we start honing our abilities to understand people, to understand things. Like, we put processes together pretty quickly.
Yep.
So it's like, when they're giving you like this, like literally, we had this one creative brief for a website, and they must have said, we like these styles of websites. And they listed 10 completely different fucking styles. Neomorphism, you know, Ghost, minimalism, Apple. And it was so broad that we literally took one of the examples we gave to appease their stupid brief was we did everything they asked and we shoved it in. You know that website that Homer Simpson created?
Yes,
that's what it looked like, you know? We had a little dancing Jesus on there. We had Maggie Simpson flying in, because it's just everything. They had drop shadows, neomorphism, animation. Like, it was, honestly, it's just, I don't understand. And I don't understand how people get to this point and how they think it's helpful.
Right.
Because it's really not helpful to the process at all.
And again, I think this boils down to, and we've experienced this a lot with clients. It's like, I don't know what it is I want. But that's not what I want.
Right.
Or when I see it, I'll know. I love that one, right? Yeah.
Right. And they just kind of drop, and they expect us to kind of sort through all this stuff, right?
Yeah. 10 websites, just amalgamate them all, and we'll see how
These are our favorite sites. They give you 20 of them. This is what we most see ourselves like, and they like, it's just, it is, and it's unnerving because we have to. So this is something stressful, right? This episode is not about writing the damn brief. This is how the hell to deal with shitty briefs,
terrible brief,
right? Because honestly, it's like the problems with briefs, I mean, they span forever, but it always comes down to too much damn information, often too much fucking jargon that makes no sense, business jargon, right? That if you know the space, okay, you know it's jargon. If you don't know the space, it's just confusing as hell.
Yes.
Like, marketers sometimes think that they want their brief to be thorough, but, you know, and they want everybody to know everything about their brand, their product, and this and that. And honestly, I can't, my focus is not long enough to go through a 10-page brief. It's really not.
And that's so unnecessary. It's like, as a company, you should be these are the highlights. These are the points that we're trying to get across here. Let's do this.
You know, do you think that maybe some of it's because they're just they're insecure?
Yes, I totally agree. I totally would agree with that. It's like look at us. We do all of this stuff. We can do 10 pages of stuff.
Yeah,
Aren't
and they just
impressed?
keep putting it out there. And
no, I'm not impressed. This is a pain in the ass.
Honestly, we got an email brief, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I need you to quote on this project. Here's the brief." And it must have been 1,000 words telling us where they're going, what they're doing, this, that. Finally, when you get down to the actual creative brief, it was like a paragraph.
Yeah.
And at that point, it got lost.
Yes.
We didn't reply to this email for 3 weeks because every time I opened it up, I felt like barfing. So finally, in the end, I started by saying, you know what? Like, you're not helping us out by doing a brief like this. We're used to just tell us what you want and we'll do it for you. Thanks, though. Yeah. And she's like, oh, you know what? Because you took too long, we gave it to another agency. But next time. And I was like, thank you, God. Yes, this is one of those jobs we had to pass on because it was just, if this is what it was like, just to tell us what they're looking for, can you imagine what the cycles, the scope creep? Can you it would be never ending.
It would be never ending. It's funny because we just did a website for, we're doing a website for a client. And when we were doing the briefs and we were getting everything together and looking at the websites that they liked, I noticed that all of those websites looked similar. Like there was a lot of commonalities with that. And I'm thinking that's got to be a good client, right?
It's a great client.
When you get that kind of idea, like as opposed to what you were talking about.
And they have an idea of what they're looking for and what they need.
Yes.
Right? So there is a difference, and you're right. And you know, coincidentally enough, they are really good customer, and they're actually customer. And they're really they're savvy. They're marketing savvy. They get it. They're human speak. They're not like throwing out jargon and bullshit. So no, you're right. It makes a difference because these other people with these. It's funny that you mentioned the whole thing about the insecurity because it's like I'm thinking of some of the worst briefs that we've had in the past 12 months, and I genuinely think you're right. I think it's by people who they literally are throwing everything on there to cover their ass, and they're expecting us to sort this out.
That's right. The ass covering.
Seriously, like that's a huge thing.
Right.
But I mean,
that makes sense.
It just confuses everything.
It really does.
But the problem is, in the end, they can point the finger to the agency.
I was just gonna say, is that the clap back at the agency? Say, that's you guys completely missed it. We had it right here.
Absolutely, dude.
Some paragraph 4. It's right here.
My God. It's like, it starts, the story just winds and winds. You have no idea where this thing.
Exactly.
But you know what? I genuinely think that's what it is. Because I mean, the agencies are always like no matter what happens, it's always the agency's fault.
Yeah, we're the fall guys,
we
right?
always have to, we're the ones that have to cover our ass.
I know.
Which we'll get to later, of course, on how to do that. But
it's like you said with that one client that you were kind of like, oh God, you open it up, you're going to barf, you know. You dodged a bullet with that. We dodged a bullet with that one, basically. 100%. Right? You got one of those nightmare clients. Like, it could have been way worse. And so something like that, I guess, buyer beware. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like almost like a telltale of what you could be getting.
That's exactly
right.
Yes.
And I mean, in all honesty, a lot of the briefs we don't even get a lot of briefs from the regular customers anymore because again, it's a small synopsis. It ends up we now know their product, we know their customers, we know their market, and so literally all we need is a paragraph, right? And that's kind of the goal where you want to get to. So the real creative briefs are the important ones to pay attention to are when it's new customers.
Yes.
Because it is a telltale sign. Right, of what's to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you get people who jam in company info, right? And then they jam in the summary of the project, objectives, target audience, deliverables they need, competition, the timing, possible budget, maybe technical specs, you know, corporate guidelines. Dude, this is a creative brief that we need, right?
Far too early for technical.
Back this shit up, right? Like, don't, like, it's just, do you want creative ideas or what do you want? And then they start telling you about history, you know, deadlines involved. And it's hard. You can't tell that story in an easy to understand manner. Yeah. In my opinion, anyway.
No, I absolutely agree. And it's almost self-defeating for them. Like,
absolutely.
They're not going to gain anything from this. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it's just kind of like, why would you spend all that kind of time on that to, you know, just throw everything against the wall and see if it sticks? Like, geez, guys.
Honestly, I think a lot of this, you know, really comes. So when we go through a lot of these briefs, right, we're trying to understand what the hell these customers are trying to get to, and you know, there's other ways for designers to look for a lot of this information. So, which is why it's just like, you guys just need to understand what the hell it is you want. And I think that's the problem, is a lot of these customers have no idea how to explain. They may not even know what the hell they want themselves. They're looking to us to try to figure that out for them, which is like the worst part of this whole process, because you can never get that shit right. No, like you're absolutely not.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Like, honestly, the most common mistake out of all the briefs, okay, that we get, for sure, hands on, is just they want their fucking job to do way too much in the brief, right? Like, they expect it to do, you know, this, they expect it to do that. And it's just like, you kind of almost need, you know, first and foremost, the purpose to be like a single purpose, right? So you need to kind of go in there and you got to, you know, try to help them understand their business goals a little better, right? And then from there, you know, focus on the most important business goals that they have, right? And then this way, you can kind of figure out what the purpose is of this piece. Because again, it's just like, if they wanted to do too much, it's just going to fail no matter what, right? Because again, the expectations are way too high that they're listing. Okay. So that one's obviously the first one, right?
Is just wait for a second. Is a mission statement? This is just business speak, right? Like,
why even put that in there?
Exactly. I was just gonna say this. It's just like I've seen these things before.
Dude,
they're so lame.
And again, this is a creative brief. You're coming to us for a creative project, right? So tell me, what the hell is the purpose? What do you want this project to do? If the website, obviously, is a website, a lot more questions to be handled there, right?
Exactly.
But a lot of it's, you know, a campaign, a lot of it's logo, a lot of it's brand work, you know, a lot of it's brochure work, right? Again, single purpose, right? Start, what the hell do you even want this thing to do? So number one, you know, like they want it to do way too much. Number two, a big mistake is, you know, they have no idea. They don't have a clear understanding who the hell the audience is, who their target on. Like, they may know their customer, but again, if they can't explain to you, you know, who that customer is, that's a huge problem in a brief. You know what I mean? People who need automobiles. Thanks.
People aged 5 to 50.
Yes. Who breathe air.
Okay, so we don't have any aquatic people out here. Okay, that's good. Like, you know, like, come on, guys. See, people who drive cars.
Oh my God, right? No, honestly. So what you've got to do is you got to figure out, more so than anything, like, to get you need to be able to get a clear target audience that you're building something towards, right? And that's only going to help you out. They're missing that one, right? So, you know, you got to figure out what motivates that target audience. You got to, you know, find out a little bit more. But that's stuff that we know as designers, well, as experienced designers. You know, we know this. We know, you know, generally, you know, the type of people that they're looking for right off the bat. We don't have to go crazy and get into personas and spend hours and hours researching. We understand this stuff. They don't. That's the scary part, right? And that's where a lot of the damn persona exercises are, just so they can realize it themselves. Maybe not so much us. And then, of course, number three, they try to add too much content into these pieces. They're giving you something, and fuck. You know what? Kind of messed that one up.
Cut Joe. Cut Joe. Sorry, buddy.
I just realized that's the wrong one. What did I do? Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Which one?
No, number three. Whoops, I did the same thing.
Adding too much content?
Yeah. No, adding too much content is good. It's what comes after is exactly the same.
I missed it. What do you mean?
Like, you see number three? And then this, how to.
Try to find out.
This is the exact same one.
Oopsie.
That's okay.
Okay. All right.
Well, honestly, I think it still comes back down to, okay, ready?
Here we go.
We'll continue. So honestly, I think that the biggest two mistakes that people have is they don't have a clear purpose for what is for, like, what exactly it is that they're asking, and they don't have a good idea, or they can't explain who the damn target audience is. Like, really, those are the two main things. There is a third one that we're going to go into a little bit later, but ultimately, like, those two things are probably the most important parts of any creative brief, right? What do you want this thing to achieve, and who are you achieving it for? Right? That's it. Like, let's start there, and then backfill, right? Oh gosh, I know, right? Like, what's the purpose? You know, what do you need it to do? And who's it? Plain and simple. Sometimes that's all I need. That's all I need.
It's so funny. I'm hearing this, and it's just like this is like Jesus is coming into my heart. You know what I mean? Like, yes, this is exactly it. Well, how do people not realize this?
Yes, I know. Right,
those
right.
Are the two simple.
And I get it. Maybe people are like, "Oh, you're not familiar with our brand. You're not familiar." But it's our job to familiarize ourselves.
We will do our research on the end.
And ultimately, that's exactly it. And they don't realize that. They're thinking that by spewing us all this information barf, that it's going to help us. You know, let me tell you about our target market. And they give you 3 pages on who their target audience is. And conveniently enough, it starts off as a 10-year-old little girl and ends up as an 80-year-old man.
Exactly.
And everybody in between.
Okay. Maybe narrow that down.
Yeah. Needless to say, doesn't help us out. Okay.
Yes.
So what we have done though is, of course, we've come up with a nice list of the types of briefs.
I love these.
Yeah, dude, this shit's real because these all came from real dark places within. We talked to a few people. You gave us a couple. I had a couple. Dude, this is horrible. But all right, enjoy these because these are real. Okay,
we'll be scarred afterwards. We won't sleep for a week.
So the first type of brief that we're used to seeing. Okay, it's the cement block. Okay, and what this means, this brief is so damn tight, you can't move your feet once it's all around you, okay? Like, there's no room to move anywhere within this brief.
Yeah.
I don't even understand why they pitched us or why they're coming to us because they have everything so detailed from the colors they want to use, the font, the types of images. They're not looking for creative direction. They're looking for a lackey.
Yeah, they're looking for somebody to execute. Yeah,
that's it,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So this is the creative brief that is so damn tight that really you can't do anything but just, gets on your shoes, it dumps you in the water, and you just sink, okay? The cement block. Maybe this should be called the cement boots, actually, right?
Cement shoes. That's
right. Geez.
Be careful with the Italian guy talking about the cement shoes.
Sean, what did we talk about, buddy?
I promise I'll be better, I swear.
All right. Number 2, okay? Awesome.
Yep.
Round and round.
Oh.
And round and round and round. This is the kind of brief that the customer actually has no freaking idea what they want, and they can't provide any sort of information besides, the technical specifications, which aren't helping at this point.
Yes.
And all you're basically doing is just going back around in circles, and they're just talking circles and circles and circles. They start off here, they go there, they come back and they come back. It's just it's kind of like a never-ending loop.
Yeah.
And they keep repeating the same stuff, but it's all nonsense.
Jeez, that's the worst.
Yeah, that is a little bit tough. It's tough because that one you can't get any information from.
Yeah, exactly, which is completely opposite of,
the cement
shoes people. they need to have a baby or something.
All right, number 3.
Wow, that's great.
This one's called the kitchen sink.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I love that one.
So this brief is a brief that really provides no insights at all. It's just an overwhelming bunch of data points that have absolutely no depth, no explanation, no story in place. Every single thing that there is to know except for the shit that you need. That's what's in this one, okay? This one is the kitchen sink,
sink, yeah.
And I feel like we get a lot of these, sadly. It's just, and the funny part is, I don't even read them when we get them.
Oh, no, yes.
And then the meeting, the customer's like, you read our brief, right? And I'm like, yes. Yes, I did. Oh, we could tell because you were right on the mark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not the experience that I have. No. It's because I read all that stuff.
Yeah. Thanks.
God.
All right. Yes. So number 4. This one's called The Neverending Story. Okay, I was wondering if you're going to go there with that one. Did you ever see that guy's hair, by the way? Lamal, who sang that song?
No.
Dude,
I didn't know who that was.
Oh, yeah. The guy, really? the band, he was a singer who came up with the Neverending Story song or whatever. Really? And I mean, the song was a total 80s song. Kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. I like that song.
He looked like he had a botched 80s hairdo. Like, it's hard to botch an 80s hairdo, but he had like, it was such a cool mullet. It was spiky at the top, long at the back, but he had like colored splotches, like bad dye jobs everywhere. And it looked like his kid took... Yeah, it's pretty bad. But anyway.
Really? Oh my God.
Going back to this. The brief is called The Neverending Story. And this brief, okay, changes constantly over hours, over days, over weeks.
Right.
Okay? It's like they give you a brief, but then they'll update it. Then they'll update it. Then a day later, they'll remind you of something by email that they did. Then they'll want to call you a week later, and they keep adding to this brief. And honestly, it never makes any freaking sense.
Yes.
Because this brief is constantly changing. And it's just like, it's anything that catches their eye and inspires them. They tell you, and they don't realize that they're telling you, it needs to be a boat.
Right.
But it also needs to drive on land. So it's got to be a car, But it needs to be intercontinental. So think of a plane. It is literally.
Now that I think about it, it needs to go to space too.
All right. So a plane with a jet on it that goes on the water but drives on the land.
You got that?
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. Oh Jesus! Yeah. And this is the people that they're reading this constantly, and they're like, maybe I should. It is designed by committee kind of thing.
Oh God, those are the worst.
I know, right?
That's right. Designed by committee. This happens because everybody's. This is it.
Because everybody, it's been passed around the office. Everybody's added to it.
Yes, and they keep emailing you separately. Well, I know I didn't talk much in our committee meeting, but I just wanted to add this point to this. Is brief. And,
it was just it should have this. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's like it's got to have wheels and it's got to be a boat, and it's like, oh fuck, come on.
All right, a never-ending story. All right, number 5.
I got that song in my head now.
Yeah, never-ending story. I hope you all enjoy that.
Yes, exactly.
You're welcome. Number 5. Ready?
Yep.
The collision.
Ooh.
Okay, sounds good.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, this is when the client's brief is completely full of contradicting statements and facts, information. So it's like almost like they're merging these 2 or 3 different briefs into one. This kind of goes back to this whole example of like, we need it to be on the water, but we also need it to be on land. So stay away from water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, I imagine this is the 2 interns fighting for the same job, right? No, it's supposed to be this. No, it's got to be this.
Or just a customer who's had a lot of wine in a night of writing a creative brief.
Okay, there we go.
Literally, we have this on a regular basis from one of our customers, and I love them to death. But
I love that.
I just can't read it, and I just nope. Who's it for? What's the message? We'll take care of it. Thanks. Because I can't. Oh, dude.
I think that person even actually commented that they were drinking wine at that time, right?
Yep. That's a true story.
When your brief starts out with, could be the wine talking, but.
Let me know if you have any questions. It's just yes, many.
You've just been hit with a collision, baby.
Number 6, the daydream believer. Right?
Oh my God! You got the song theme going here. This is awesome.
Oh, you caught that one too, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this is okay. Everybody loves it. Every agency's gotten this one. Okay.
Yes.
So this is they give you so much information, and their expectation is so high. Like we want this to be a Webby. We want to win a Webby with this one. We need this to get a Clio award, right? And I need you to do it for $500.
Yeah, but we have a problem with money.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. So this is kind of like when their expectation and their budget just don't coincide. And I mean, in my opinion, in that case, you better not be giving me a creative brief. In that case, you better give me a wireframe with exactly what you want, and maybe you'll get that bad boy.
My mother used to call this champagne tastes with a beer pocketbook.
Oh, nice! I love that. I love that.
Exactly.
All right, number 7. Ready? The snack size.
The what?
The snack size, okay? So this is when the client gives you just a taste of what they're looking for, but they don't actually want to tell you the whole story because they don't want to inhibit your creativity. I don't want to tell you too much because I'm scared that I'm going to inhibit your creative process.
For real? Yeah. Oh my God.
If I had a nickel every time I had that, I've thrown my years, honestly, it's like, I don't understand this game that they play, right? Because they think they're doing you a favor, but really it's like they're expecting you to be a fucking mind reader.
Exactly.
No matter whatever you do, no matter what you do is never going to they're never going to be happy with it because you don't have that vision in their mind.
Yes.
Right? Like, dudes, you better tell us what the hell you want first, and we'll address that. And if we can do it, good. If not, because they will not accept anything else other than that. So
it's like going in for surgery and saying to the doctor, "Surprise me."
Can you imagine? Surprise me.
Oh, jeez. That's ridiculous.
All right. So that's the snack size. All right. Number 8. Ready? Where's Waldo? Where is he? Come on. There's a whole brief here. And we've got a brief that's jammed with a lot of nothing and a little bit of something. But you have to search through the whole thing again and again just to try to figure out where the hell this damn thing is that's trying to tell you. This one's a horrible one. This is when they give you all the backstory, all the mission statement. They give you the examples of this, their competitors, their history, blah, 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 blah. And then one line of what it is that they're looking for. Just like, I think I cut. No, he's not there.
Is he here? No, that's not it. No, that's. Oh, Lord.
Where's Waldo?
I love that. That's great.
All right, this one's a good one. Ready?
Okay.
The shotgun.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Let's get everybody.
Get everybody on this thing. This is the creative brief that is so wide, so spread that you can't make sense of it.
Oh my God.
It's like you don't. Ultimately, the creative has to be for a nameless company selling a nameless product with like a nameless go-to, because it's like they're trying to reach everybody and everything.
Right. It's the 5 to 80 kind of crowd.
Dude,
that's what you want, right?
No, that's as bad. And this one kind of goes along with the next one, which is number 10, which is the jammer.
The jammer.
They're trying to jam every single thing that they want into one piece of creative literature.
Yes, this is great too.
They want to tell their mission story, their history, or sorry, the mission statement, their history. They want to have all their products on there, all the benefits in their product, their phone number, their web address, their chat number, or whatever the hell, their social media, and do it on a single page ad.
Yeah, do it on one ad.
One ad.
This is, you want to hit every point that they possibly can. This is what my product does. It'll make you rich. Exactly.
Absolutely. It's durable. It's safe. It's awesome. It's relaxing. So make sure you get that all in the creative execution. Okay.
Yes. Make it pop. Too,
make it pop while you're at it. Oh damn! And this one is the last one we want to end on here. Is creative brief, but almost like stupid, based on stupid strategy.
Right. Love it.
And this one is the shiny new medium. Right. And this is when somebody comes to you and is like, "Hey, you know what? We need a TikTok strategy. Get on that." And it's like, dude, no, you don't. TikTok's hot right now, though. We need a TikTok strategy, right?
Big. We gotta break the internet on this one.
It's like, dude, you just need a regular strategy. Like, come back with a bigger idea, not just something to execute. If it has absolutely nothing to do with your brand, or could have nothing to do with it, they see something new and shiny out there, and they figure they have to get on it. But there's absolutely no real thought or reason behind it, other than the fact that it's just like new and hot right now.
Exactly.
Huge mistake.
Big mistake.
Huge mistake.
Never go with just that. A strategy is perfect, and it should go across all of these platforms, right? If it's good, it'll
you
work on
pivot,
TikTok.
of course, and you make it work on TikTok, and you make it, accommodate the medium. Because again, it's like, what do we call it? We have a weird way of approaching form over function, but basically build it to suit the medium. In that case, that's how we use it in here. But don't just jump on it because it's something shiny and new.
Cool, exactly. And you can see the guy coming in saying, "Yeah, I see my daughter on TikTok all the time, so I want to reach her. So let's have a TikTok.
So let's figure out how we're gonna put our hydraulic cylinders on TikTok, guys." All right. She likes it. So I don't know what it is. And what you see is some guy in the shop. Pneumatic cylinders. Open, dancing. Oh. Dunk, dunk.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Oh my God. Well, needless to say, maybe not every shiny new medium is perfect for you.
Oh, fuck, that's great. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
you're onto something there.
Yeah, I got a little bit. You know, a little top up there, buddy.
Yeah, I'll take a top up.
So needless to say, so those are our top 10 list of
those are great.
The briefs that I'm sure we've all experienced at some point or another.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Everybody's had that kind of disaster scenario.
Dude. And what's worse though, as professionals, we still have to try to deal with this shit.
You still do, yes.
Right? And proud to say that we do. Often, you know, I'm lucky enough that I can just be like, Mac, here, go do this. Pass it off internally. No. I will skim through them. I will. And there is a plan. There is some methodology to, or there's some madness to this whole thing, or whatever the hell that saying is.
The method
what is it?
To the madness or something like that?
I always suck at these things. But the reality is, you know what, we as graphic designers, you know, and this has been 22, 23 years of bad briefs. I suspect everybody's going to be dealing with these on an ongoing basis. So there is a way to deal with these, right? And I think this is the frustrating part. This is why somebody reached out and it's just like, how the hell do I make this shit work?
Yes.
And it did. It made us kind of sit back and actually think, you know, our full process, right? There's a good business case to this, and it's actually a pretty good way of breaking it down. So first and foremost, okay. So obviously, if it's an existing customer, okay, you know, generally you get to a point where you shouldn't have to have ongoing regular creative briefs, right? Again, like I said, just understand, you know, what the purpose is, you know, the objective of what it is you want to create in the audience. So let's just assume that this has nothing to do with any existing customers, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, you've gotten to a point where you don't need that kind of direction anymore, right?
Yes.
This is the partnership. But let's say it is somebody new, right? Somebody new, and you've been feeling them out, and they're like, okay, I'm going to send you creative brief for this project, and you know, everything seems really good. So first thing you want to do is set the stage right from the beginning, okay? So as soon as they're like, you know, I'm going to send you a creative brief, right? Then just follow up with the, you know, let them know that, okay, that's great, and you know, you'll take a look at it and you'll go through it, but just be forewarned, you know, we may have a follow-up session after you give me the brief to go over, you know, some additional information, some insights we might have, have some questions, right? As soon as you do that, right, it doesn't show incompetence, okay? It shows confidence, right? Because it's like, you know what? I know what I am going to have some questions. No matter what you give me, I will have some questions. So set the stage. It doesn't mean you have to, right? Because I mean, it might be simple enough and you'll get it first time, but you've already set the stage that you have a process, you have some questions, you want some answers, but hey, whatever you send me, you know, I'll go through and I'll let you know. So again, take control early on, right? So first off.
That's awesome.
Right. And okay, so then you're going to get it. And you know, the important thing is there, again, it shows process and it shows expertise.
Right.
And we can't stress enough. I mean, I profess to this is that you want to make sure you position yourself as the expert.
Yes.
Okay. And then you got to gain that. And this is how you do it. You know, you almost take control of the situation, even though you're receiving the creative brief. Right. Huge difference. Okay.
That's
so
great.
They own control if they're giving it to you. But as soon as you're like, hey, I'm going to come back to you because I'm going to take control of this, right? You're the expert. Okay.
Exactly.
So first and foremost. Now, when you get it, sadly, be prepared to read the damn thing. I hate to say it, right? But it's based on that top 10 list of the kind of briefs. It might even be a more search and destroy or seek and discover type of, you know, experience. But be prepared to read that damn thing, even though it might be 10, 12 pages. It might suck, but at least, you know, once, first and foremost, right? You got to do that. Okay. Now, when you're reading, okay, know the objective. That's the first thing you're going to be looking for.
Right.
What the hell is the objective? You need to define this, okay, and write it down, okay? And again, this isn't like going to be concrete. You just, because again, in case somebody's sending you this to cover their ass, right? You need to pull out viable, legitimate shit that you're actually reading within that brief.
Is this one of those where's Waldo scenarios?
It might be, actually. It really might be.
Yes.
Like in that case where you've got to sit there and use your own common sense.
Right. Yes.
To find out what the objective is.
Reading between the lines kind of thing.
Absolutely, right? So the way we do this is we always start at the end, Z Factor, right? We always start at the end. We try to find out what that end goal is, you know, and then we work our way backwards, right? So try to find out what that end objective is that they're trying to reach, you know, and understand what it is that you want to achieve, right? And this is where you have to dig up with all the parts that you can find that have anything to do with their objective, okay? And most importantly, if there's more than one objective, you got to list that that shit out. Okay. Because it's going to come back later on.
Right.
But again, you can't have a multiple objective campaign or creative, right? It's ridiculous.
Yes.
So you need to list that shit out. So this is why it's important to read through it.
Right.
Because again, you need to find things that contradict themselves, but you also have to find things that can defend if they come back and be like, well, didn't you read it? No, that wasn't the objective. Yeah.
Right. It's right here. Here it is. Yes.
All right. So first and foremost, right? Dig to find the objective.
Yeah.
Number 2, right? Know the audience.
Know the audience.
Okay.
Right.
Now try to dig through all their information, right? And be as detailed as you need to be. If they provide very little about the audience, use your own common sense.
Okay. So exactly like you were talking about with the cylinder guy, you know kind of what your audience is going to be.
Right. Exactly. That cylinder guy had no place to be on TikTok because 13 to 15-year-old little girls and doing their TikTok dances don't care.
They don't.
But the reality is, if it's a B2B market, right, understand who the B2B customer is.
Yes.
If it is a consumer-facing product, understand is it more suited to teens? Is it more suited to adults, male, women, single? Try to understand if they don't list those people. Again, you have to list that audience for them, right?
And that's by doing research and
and again, it could even be research about their industry, about their competitors, right? It could be,
that's gold mine. You go to the competitors and you're like, this is how you should be positioning yourself.
Exactly. Key insights, right?
Yeah. Drink break.
So, drink break.
Anytime you hear us go silent, it's like you said the last time. It's like anytime you hear us go silent, we're drinking.
We're drinking. We're having a sip. Appreciate the sip. All right.
Yes.
So, number 1, know the objective. Number 2, dig through this bad boy and try to understand the audience and list that shit out.
Yep.
And then number 3 is know the SMP or try to define the SMP. And what an SMP is, it's a single-minded proposition.
Oh.
I know, and it sounds confusing, but it's not. Basically, it's the one key message, benefit, compelling marketing reason that somebody would actually give a shit about your product, right? And this is where you're starting to narrow down what the hell the differentiating factor is between them and their competition, right?
Yeah.
Often it's a benefit, that they try to they can feature, but there's a benefit dug down somewhere within that feature, right? And you may have to dig for this one. You may even have to come up with this shit for yourself.
Yeah.
But all the more reason why you want to plan that follow-up strategy, right? Because you need to understand what this SMP is. And again, the fewer, the better. Okay. So you can't focus on 3-4 things in the same creative material because again, then all of a sudden people aren't going to understand when they're getting the material what it is that they should be focusing on.
Right.
It's like trying to watch a juggler who's juggling 4 red balls. It's just it's too confusing, right? But
it's a big jumbled mass,
right? And that's kind of what it is in this situation, right?
Yeah.
So we used to refer to this. We do actually. We refer to this as the Z factor, okay? And the Z factor is the single most compelling marketable part of your product, right? It doesn't have to be legit. It doesn't have to be different than anybody else. It's just got to be the one thing that you could basically completely it has to be something that give people a reason to care that you can build your marketing around.
Right.
So an example of this in the industry, of course, is back in the early 70s, right? Toyota was trying to figure out a way on how to differentiate themselves from everybody else, okay? But they didn't really have anything. Okay, because they were kind of like everybody was there. But, they had this thing called anti-lock brakes. Oh. But they weren't the first ones to have anti-lock brakes, but they were the first ones to point the shit out.
Yes.
It was their Z factor. They were like, hey, you know what? We got these awesome anti-lock brakes that are going to do this. They're going to do it. So they focused on this single, life-changing benefit that separates them from the company. So then afterwards, everybody else is like, well, we got them too.
We got them too.
No.
You look like a follower. Yeah,
exactly. Right. So this is where you have to find that one, main SMP that you can actually focus in on, right? That one Z factor item, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
So, and again, if there is more than one, if they're trying to sell you that there's more than one, then you list that shit. Okay. So again, you list that, you list the audience, and you list the objectives, from their briefs. Okay. So this is all the information that you've done. Okay.
Right.
Then the next step that we do is we create a 5 to 7 page presentation. Okay. And the presentation, basically, you know, we list the objective that we try to achieve, but if there's more than one, we list that shit. And then we go back. Well, we read through the brief. It was a very good brief. You know, we found a couple objectives in here, and, you know, they're kind of contradictory. They kind of battle off one another. And we find, you know, from past experience, of course, is that campaigns creative works best when there's, you know, a single objective.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want us to tell people to go to your website, it's going to be hard for them to go to your website if you're also telling them to call you. Right. And, you know, especially while they're driving, it's too many competing.
Exactly.
So again, you want to make sure that you bring these things. You want to, you know, list the objectives that they want to achieve, the audience you want to confirm, right? The SMP, again, you know, if there's more than one, you want to list that there, right? And you put this in the discussion. And then again, you use this as that follow-up question area, right? And then what you do, okay, you can't be scared to ask questions because it's not the enemy.
I know. And to me, I think if you're asking questions, you're showing engagement. You're saying, look, I'm trying to help you.
Yes.
Yep. You know what I mean? Like these are concerns that I have that I really need to kind of flesh these things out.
That's exactly it. Well, you said the key word there, right? So you couch this in the fact that you implore a collaborative approach.
Boom.
Okay.
There you go.
As soon as you say that, you're letting them know that you want them to be involved.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You want them to be involved because they're the expert, right? And then you're like basically you're making it sound like you're doing this, you know, to benefit both, but the reality is you just want them to agree on a direction.
Yes.
Okay. Ultimately, that's what it is. So it's collaborative, but again, you know, no. The reality is it's just to clarify this shit, which helps you with the creative thereafter, right?
Exactly.
And then again, you keep talking about it's a collaborative process, and you employ a collaborative approach. That converts to, oh shit, they have a process. They've done this again and again and again. They know what they're doing. Yeah. And that means money. Because you can charge. You charge for that shit.
Well, Moss, come on. It's not all about money, right?
When you're hungry, it is. That's for sure. But I mean, it's true. Like, again, you can take it. You can take that brief and come back with your best attempt.
Yeah.
But the reality is then it's just like, oh, they're going to only judge you on the creative you present. Might be good. Right. Might be shitty. It might be fantastic, but not what they're looking for.
Yes.
So you kind of screw yourself during this process. Okay.
Exactly.
If you take their brief back, right, come up with, you know, dissect it, come up with some stuff to go back to them and just let them know this is a collaborative. We want to make sure we get this right. So we, you know, delivering something that's going to work for you.
Yes.
Right. That changes the whole game. That's a game changer for this, right?
Big time.
And then, okay, so then it's a collaborative approach, right? Whatever. And then what we do is then, because everybody wants to, you know, end on a high note, right? We include, and you can even tell them, just say, you know, I know this is a little preliminary, you know, early on, right? But you include 2 or 3 mood boards. Okay. So mood boards being you find creative examples. This is when you can start using your own kind of, you know, feeling what you think that you've gained from them so far based on their competition, based on what they do, their past, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
But present them 2 to 3 different mood boards showing completely different kinds of creative executions that, you know, grouped, of course, in like from, you know, web, logo, ads to whatever. Right. Yeah. And then in this way, you can kind of start, again, it's a collaborative process. You start guiding them down the right path already. So you've gotten all your questions answered. You've identified the purpose, you've identified the audience and the SMP, and now you're helping through all this and their feedback at this point, because it's now collaborative, they're going to tell you what they're envisioning based on the mood boards.
Based on the mood boards.
And that's key, right? Because again, it goes back to that whole, they hide shit in their heads.
Yes.
And if you can't pull that out, you know, you could be churning stuff on a regular basis, right? No. Yeah. Make it a collaborative process.
That's exactly it.
Show them some creative ideas, but not your creative ideas.
Just
but
general stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then this way, it's like, no. You know, this is the direction I'm envisioning. This is not, it just starts that conversation, right? Exactly. And honestly, I mean, across the board, we're all about collaboration here with our customers. Totally. Some people are a little bit more, no, our idea is the right idea. And I can tell you one thing, they're not angry, that's for sure. Probably angry all the time. They're furious all the time. Oh, no. But I mean, it's true. It's like, you know, we do, the collaborative approach works for us and it works well.
Totally.
You know, and it gets the customer involved at the right stages. We're still doing the execution. We're doing everything that we love. We just have less rounds of bullshit in between, right?
Yeah.
But this is how you own that creative brief, right?
Yes.
They give it to you, they're in charge. But as soon as you take control of that thing and you start pulling out and putting it back on them, like a smaller, simplified version, just the main things.
Laser focused.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
With the mood boards following up, you own that whole, you own that whole the process.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's awesome. And it's so good. And it's like, we've done this with clients before. Like we've recently, they were kind of, this one client that we have just not really 100% sure what they were going to do for their major focus.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Send them a mood board and they're like, I'm
thinking this is the vibe we're looking for.
And then everything kind of stemmed from that.
Absolutely, right?
Which is really cool. And this is a client that we've had for years. So we kind of know
exactly
what
but now they had a new idea for something, but they couldn't explain it, right?
Exactly.
Honestly, the goal here is to try to achieve clarity without looking like a fucking amateur.
Yes.
Right? Because as soon as you do that,
what do you want? I don't know. Help me. You don't
see previous podcasts there. Suck it up, Buttercup. But it's true, right? You want to own that expert standings, right? And you have to do that by getting clarity.
Yeah.
By not looking like a kid by doing this.
Exactly.
So know the objective, know the audience, know the SMP, and then follow up with your questions or your little presentations to get your clarity, and then turn it into collaborative session with mood boards to finish up on. Because then you're finishing off in a clear direction. Exactly. That's what you want.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
this works for us, dude.
I was gonna say you're gonna get some out of these guys by doing these kind of steps.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what you want. Instead of you know the cement block shoes. You don't want that shit.
Man, if I could tell you how many people I wish I could throw into the river with cement shoes. Based on the shit that we've had. Wow. There's been a lot of anger that's come through.
Yeah, totally. This does inspire a lot of angry thoughts for sure, doesn't it? This is why we do this.
This is why we do this. All right.
Oh, that was great.
Well, that's our little. Well, I mean, that's all I got.
Yeah, no, that's totally cool, man. I'm hoping our Australian friend it gets a lot of.
I'm going to hit him up later to find out. I'm going to find him up later to find out how it all went and if it's made any difference. And I'm going to let him know that we did this. And and I told him right off the bat, this would make a good one because this is something that we all deal with.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of shit out there on how to write a good creative brief, but that's not what we're doing. We have to learn how to deal with this shit. This is how we deal with this shit.
And to clarify that not a lot of people know how to write a good creative brief, right? Which is why we get all this kind of
that's pretty
garbage.
obvious.
Yeah, exactly. and that was really interesting that you know, I did read a couple of articles on that, whereas it is like a junior function at some places where
unbelievable,
you're like,
right?
This you're putting your client, you're putting your future, your brand,
and you're basing it on that,
on this like
it's kind of ridiculous.
Geez, I hope they help these poor kids that are doing this kind of thing. But
they should be teaching this in college.
Totally. Totally.
Along with laundry and
taxes,
cooking, and writing a brief.
And writing a brief, those are 4 things you should know
in life. Otherwise, everything else doesn't matter. Damn.
Oh, that was great. Wow.
All right, dudes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I hope you guys got something from this. I really do. By all means, you know where to find us, and you know that we got this contest going on. So please leave us a review. Share us with some of your friends, your colleagues. Let everybody know that we're out to spread the good word of graphic design. The angry word, by all means. The angry word. But the truth is, you know, we're here to help. And by all, if you guys have something that you want us to share, you want us to talk about, or you're curious how we do it, hit us up.
Yeah,
I mean,
please.
drop us a line on our website, theangrydesigner.com. Hit us up on our Instagram. We've got an amazing Instagram following, so engaging. You know, we're constantly talking with everybody. Love everybody on Instagram. And you know what? Like, I mean, you can even hit us up on our podcast channels, right? Totally. By leaving us a great review.
Oh, shameless plug.
Shameless plug. But no, please, by all means, I hope you guys have gotten something good with this. Good out of this episode.
Yes.
Let us know how it worked out for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is great.
All right.
Jeez.
I think we're good then.
Good job.
Thanks, but no, good job you, buddy.
Good job. Come on.
Look at
Come
you.
on.
All right. My name is Massimo.
Yeah, my name is Sean.
Stay creative.
And stay angry.
Peace.